And we are back here on the ETMU Coaches Show, here with the head track and field coach, Natalie Bach-Prather. Coach,
good morning.
It's been a very long time.
It has been a minute.
And you guys are still kind of in the indoor season, and you're going to be competing this weekend at Texas A&M. So leading up to that, you guys have had a lot of time to practice, because the last time you competed in the indoor meet was November 30th, and then a long 2 months in between that. So just kind of talk about, the process and you guys' preparation heading into, this weekend. It's been a long time for you guys.
It has. The long break wasn't ideal. Ideally, we would have done a couple meets in January, but we're not taking the whole team to these indoor meets. Not this year. Maybe next year, we'll see how it goes. But we're mainly taking individuals that we know can compete at a high level. And so the long break was we just had a little bit more fun during the holidays than the coaches would have preferred. So that's why we waited to do our next indoor meet here. And once again, we're just taking a very small group. We're taking our distance squad, both of our relay teams, and I think 2 individual sprinters. It's a good way for them. They're already almost in the competition level, and it's good to just kind of see where they're sitting at in the rest of the conference and kind of against the other schools in the country before we hit outdoor really hard. So we're kind of getting our feet wet. We're getting back into it, but we have had a lot of really good practices leading up to this, so I feel good about this weekend.
Absolutely, Coach. And you kind of talked about, just heading into the interview that a lot of freshmen this year, bigger team this year. So just kind of talk about that dynamic of it. How does it, feel, heading into this weekend that you're going to get to see? You said you weren't taking the entire team, but just watching them in practice, and are you excited for them to finally get out there and compete?
I'm very excited. We do have our largest group of freshmen we've ever had. That's exciting. We're going to our 6th year of having a track program, but once again, I think only our 3rd or 4th year of having a full team, but we have a really full team and a lot of very talented kids who are putting in the work and and have the excitement for the season. So I'm looking forward to the season. I'm looking forward to the next couple weeks to kind of see what we have that we can potentially work with for the rest of the year. But it's going to be a good year for our whole team.
Absolutely. And you kind of, talked about, having the long rest wasn't really ideal for you. So then having just this, 1 or 2, indoor meets for you guys, how does that kind of disrupt, if it does at all, your whole plan for the year? Normally you guys have multiple indoor meets, but this year didn't pan out that way. So how does that kind of disrupt the flow? How do you have to configure things now?
Well, honestly, it doesn't disrupt anything really. If the team had their way, they'd be competing in January, but I don't want them to go to a meet and not be able to perform well. So this was an incentive to say, hey, let's work extra hard at the beginning of this year so that we can do well at these meets. And we've been practicing hard. So this is actually a great elevated workout. We're adding adrenaline, and we're adding other teams. So honestly, it's perfect timing to get us tuned up for our outdoor season and get them ready to what the meet feels like. So I'd say it's actually great timing. And even though I wouldn't have preferred the long rest, it can never hurt. It's just going to make them that much better during the outdoor season.
And also, you talked about, among the 20 athletes that you're bringing this weekend, that relay team, that's one of the teams that I kind of have my eye on coming forward. Especially on the men's side, coming in first place last season. So is there anything with that team that is going to kind of be changed a little bit this year? Is it the same core unit? Because that's one of the things that's really important about a relay is, the chemistry, the consistency, being used to, running with a certain group. So is there any leg that's going to be changing here this year? Or?
Yeah, we have 2. We have 2 of the original legs, so that's exciting.
Yes.
But the other cool thing is we actually have a lot of potential players in this relay team, and so these first few meets we're going to kind of be experimenting with where we're putting what people. I envision having a really great year with our relay teams. on our women's side too, we have some amazing girls on our relay team. Some really fast talent. So I think that both of our teams are going to do well. But on the men's side, it's going to be exciting to see. Hopefully by conference, we'll have the 4 fastest splits, and we'll kind of go from there.
And competing at a school like Texas A&M, that's opportunities for you to see some D1 talent and things like that, different schools. So is that kind of an added incentive for your team? How does that help your team? Even though for track and field, it's more of an individual type of thing, but how does that help your team competing at that type of level?
Oh, they love it. I mean, it adds that extra excitement. We're going to have better results at some of those bigger meets just because of that extra excitement. And, sometimes you run as fast as the competition. And so when the competition is fast at this level, then we're going to be able to pull out a little bit more than we thought we could or than they thought they could. And so in that respect, that's kind of fun to see, to kind of throw them in the mix of some fast competition. And hopefully the results will show. Absolutely.
And final question for you here today, and the most important one, you guys, as you're sporting the new gear this year. So what are some of the things that we can see in that respect? Because I know that's what we're all kind of thinking.
Oh, of course. The most important thing. What are we going to wear? No, they're excited. We've got a couple new shirts, and we handed out hats this year, and we've got cool backpacks now. So the team is definitely looking good. So I think hopefully that will filter into feeling well and performing even better.
All right, thank you, Coach. We
Thank
definitely
you.
appreciate it here on the ETBU Coaches Show. You can stay up to date with all things ETBU sports related on goetbtigers.com. Mark T. Robinson, head track and field coach, Natalie Bach-Prather. We'll see you guys again next time. Thank you for supporting ETBU Athletics.